you're correct. I don't believe SillyPears is a complete stranger to CoNDOR events. Not sure if he's participated in one before, but I know he's definitely put time into the game before. But yeah, with both of these being relatively new racers, you know, sitting in the blood tier, it's a little bit tricky to really give a good gauge on it. So we'll just kind of see how it plays out. BoredMai finding an extra bomb, while SillyPears finds a set of throwing stars that Mai's going to miss. Considering that they both thought, oh, but SillyPears getting kind of stuck there by the monkey kind of sneaking behind the dragon, just not noticing in time.
Shrink of early damage.
Yeah.
Force.
Just talking about this the other race. We had a race just a little while ago where there was a monkey that just naturally spawned right above a Minotaur in the 1-1 exit. Oh! That is so unfortunate. Just dig buffering against the wall there for a beat to get the right parity, and it happening to open into a red bat cave and getting chomped immediately. Almost no time to react to that, but I mean, this is just kind of showing the value of you know, something that we see a lot among lower tier racers, is this you know, this rigidness with respect to staying on the beat. You know, you just kind of get in your head that, you know, as a rhythm game, you have to keep that rhythm, and that's not the case. A lot of times, the best move to make in a beat is no move at all. The timing's a little funky because the game kind of like waits for if you're maybe going to give an input late in the beat before it has everything move. But when you get used to it, the strategy of just waiting a beat for enemies to get in the right position can be really helpful, and can really avoid to unnecessary deaths like that, where you just unexpectedly dig into something that you didn't really want to. BoredMai fighting death metal here. Looks like maybe missed on a bomb there. Kind of missed the exact moment of it. But out of the summoning phases, onto the fireball phases. I think still has the flawless here. Yes, going to get the flawless. And that's going to probably mean a free weapon here. Depends what's in this black chest. Ooh, that's a little ugly.
Ooh. SillyPears using his shurikens to deal the first couple of hits to death metal, putting him quickly onto the fireball phase.
Oh, but dropping a beat at some point? And so no flawless, but I mean, that said, he's not missing out on too much if he was looking for a better weapon. I mean, flail, probably one of the better weapons to have in a 1 damage form. You know, the knockback on it is going to keep you safe, and that health regen from the blood flail is kind of nice. But it's still by no means a strong find. BoredMai proccing the teleportation crown there and finding a titanium spear, but not going to take it, sticking with this blood flail.
Also was a heavy play in that shot as well.
Ouch, SillyPears. SillyPears trying to fight the Banshee and just having a sneaky wind mage come up behind him and pull him out of the setup that he had made to kill the Banshee, and just not quite being able to reorient himself. Yeah, we are kind of seeing
another enemy that's really good to drop the beat against is the Banshee, because you just knock it back and then you can stand around and wait for it to get back in position.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, yeah, I think just panicking once the Wind Mage pulled him out of position, and because kind of dancing around the Banshee before ultimately just kind of diving into a hit from her. It's not how you want to go. But yeah, BoredMai really making good use of the regen on this flail. Just taking a few hits, but almost immediately regenning it all back consistently. Yeah, we can see the safety of the flail here, though. While you know, generally you want a little bit more damage, because more damage means you kill enemies faster, meaning you don't get flooded, meaning more safety. But the flail, even when it's on 1 damage, it still retains that ability to knock back and pin enemies to the wall. So keeping BoredMai pretty safe here, despite having to mash down very slowly these high HP enemies like these Black Skeleton mages and and the Dark Golems. Oh, this is a little sketchy for BoredMai. Should probably eat the chicken. Oh no! Just getting hung up on the golems. I think playing that fight way too aggressively, considering the lack of damage. When you're dealing with a low damage weapon like that, you really need to consider, taking care of those high HP golems in advance, because if you leave them alive, then they slowly creep in, and just when you need the freedom of movement, when you're trying to kill Fortissimo himself, that's when the golems close in on you, and you're suddenly movement locked because of the flail range, and that's what we saw there.
Imagine that these blood tier races aren't particularly used to fighting the bosses on 1 damage specifically.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're generally looking for damage ups, and it's not unreasonable to expect that you would be above 1 damage by the time you're reaching your second boss. Even if you miss your first flawless, or your first boss chest has a crappy weapon like a blood flail, you're still generally looking around. The item tiers are higher after Zone 1. Item tiers are a little bit funky in that regard. Items are divided into tiers in terms of rarity, and at the lower item tiers for floors, the more common, weaker items are going to show up. But when you get to higher tiers, more powerful, rare items are more common. 1-1 is actually its own tier in that regard. It has a special set of, uniquely bad items are available in 1-1, pretty much. But after that, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 all have the same rarity tier, so you can generally expect the later zones to more consistently have decent equipment lying around.
SillyPears finding a pair of floaty boots, but wisely deciding to skip them, I'd say. They're good for some immediate value through the next 3 zones, but as soon as you hit Zone 5, the lack of conduit could really punish you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, levitation, the winged boots, were always considered kind of a borderline item because it meant you were giving up trapdoors. Since, it protects you from all floor hazards. That includes the trapdoors. You can't use them to speed up your run. So there was, before Zone 5 existed, there was always kind of, a bit of a divided camp on whether they were worth it. Whether, the protection from water, tar, hot coals, ice, and ooze was worth the fact that you had to get to the exit stairs on every floor. And you see some disagreement with that even among top racers. But now that Zone 5's a thing, and levitation also means depriving yourself of the ability to use the electric conduit in Zone 5, I think the winged boots are pretty widely regarded as not a very strong pickup.
BoredMai finding those shurikens and cleaning up Death Metal 1, checks his purple chest, remembering that the blood flail is in the black chest, and finds a heal spell. That's going to be a great bit of sustain through the run.
Yeah, see, I'm not sure if, sticking with this dagger is the right call, though. The blood flail, while it's not the ideal weapon, really put a lot of work in for BoredMai on that first run. Maybe gonna count on finding that titanium spear and buying it this time around?
In that 2-2 shop just to the left?
Yeah, I believe it's in the 2-2 shop.
That 2-2 shop was really good. It had a heavy plate in it as well. I would certainly just go in and bomb for that shop.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's not a bad idea. Oh, SillyPears taking a little bit of a beating here against the Spat and Skeleton. Down to half a heart. Gold longsword, not the ideal weapon either. Both racers kind of struggling to really find a strong, speedrun weapon.
SillyPears, despite having a bit of a lead due to BoredMai's death, is falling behind.
Whoa, that's scary. That Wraith kind of getting in SillyPears' business. Engine to get out of the way, though. Finding a free barrel, but only containing a bomb. She has no shortage of bombs, that's for sure. There's some really nice armor items, but armor is not the concern right now. He's already got the chainmail and now the Hargreaves, so defense is fine. And now he's got 5 heart containers, but nothing filling them. Oh yeah, I think we're seeing a little bit of seed variance, because that's a completely different shop on BoredMai side. I believe SillyPears did a little bit of conjuring, which may have thrown the item pools off.
Yeah, conjured the gold longsword. Maybe the chainmail as well? A ring of regen pickup is going to solve that.
Oh, that is so good for SillyPears. SillyPears looking super good now. BoredMai still in a little bit of trouble. You know, heal spell gonna be regenerating health gradually, but still on a really weak weapon. You know, just the base dagger, and now struggling to get in the proper alignment with this Fortissimo. Gonna be taking a hit from that golem, so still gonna be running out, but it's almost a low percent build. Assuming that they even get out of this fight.
Ooh.
Does it count as commentator curse if it happens before I finish saying it? I'm curious what the rules are about commentator's curse.
I'm fairly certain that it's happened, you're just commentating on what's happening, what happened.
Oh, but yeah, now SillyPears in such a great position here. Lots of armor between that. Oh, and there's a stack of cookies for him right there. Lots of armor between the Hargreaves and the chainmail. Oh, even gonna just pick up that heart transplant and pop it right away. The regen, the 6 heart containers, the chainmail. Everything is really safe. The only thing he's really lacking at this point. He's a damaging weapon. He's still stuck on this gold longsword. Not ideal.
I think there was a tier 1 cracked wall at the top of this 3-3. It could be an arena or...
That said, SillyPears having a really hard time transitioning out of the heart transplant, just dropping beats everywhere. Oh, this is ugly. Gonna get the kill, but yeah, there's a tier 1 cracked wall up there. He has already seen the Conjurer, though, which I'm sure is probably what he would want most out of that. The other choices are Shriner and Arena. Arena, you know, could have a good weapon.
You've certainly got the health and armor to make mistakes in the arena as well.
Well, yeah, and I think the only thing you would fight the arena for is either a good spell, which is going to make the arena trivial, or a good weapon, which is also probably going to make the arena trivial. Oh, there's a Crown of Thorns. No head item equipped yet. Yeah, definitely going to take that, get some more health regen on top of the already existing ring of regen. So now in excellent shape. Just going to be regenerating so much health back. Just needs to watch and make sure that he doesn't get, you know, kind of mega dunked by mini bosses and goo, because those Hargreaves don't protect against the ooze hazards in Zone 4, which, so y'all know, still as dangerous as ever. Ooh, gonna get his lucky charm here, though, even farming for a little bit of extra gold. And on to Deep Blues, looking in a pretty comfortable position here.
I wonder if there's going to be any mistakes on this Deep Blues because of the 1 damage weapon.
Well, right there, we're seeing a dunk from the Knight, so still no flawless, still no new weapon.
Does that count as because of the 1 damage weapon? I'm not sure on this one.
I think there was some discomfort from the line of pawns that caused pairs to really back up like that. Oh, whoa, Telemonkey,
oh.
Careful, and another one. Going on Telemonkey's wild ride, although ending up in the shop right next to the exit, so awfully convenient. Yeah, so pretty easy with that longsword. Longsword really good at holding down narrow choke points like that. Just gonna mash everything down as it comes through. And yeah, starting 4-2 with full health. There's another shop. Gotta keep looking for a new item. Still pretty weak weapons. Shield spell's really nice. Blood Rapier may be a good pickup. Yeah, gonna go for that. That Blood Rapier stacking with that Crown of Thorns, setting the regen counter to 5 kills, so he's gonna be regenning like an absolute man here. Even tanks that Nightmare hit. I'm not sure they really care. Because, yeah, there's the half a heart back, and then regen's gonna cap it off. Just insane amounts of health regeneration here. Well, there's a very strong weapon, but not one you want to take when you've got a really strong lead like this.
Or when you can just take as many hits as you can with a solid amount of armor and health and regen.
Yeah, giving up a little bit of armor for the lead boots, but I think that's the right call. Just to avoid the chance of goo traps. Gonna bomb this statue even. Getting a ham out of it. Ooh, Goblin Sentry opening up that wall, making this a little bit of a chaotic situation. It's Harpy giving a lot of problems. Okay, that bomber's gonna clear up the rest of this. Just gonna eat up the ham and, or eat up the cheese and take the ham with.
There's a Shrine of Luck over there. It's going to give quite a few items thanks to the Lucky Charm.
Meanwhile, did that blood bow come from the Zone 2 boss chest? Because, oh man, this is a brutal seed, if that's the case.
SillyPears is down to 2 hearts, just taking a lot of damage. Has the ham to heal up, but oof.
Yeah, gotta be careful. All the regen in the world won't do you any good if you just keep taking hits continuously. Ooh, has to watch for those diagonal bounce traps. Tricky as always. Maybe worthwhile to consider just popping the shield and going ham on this. Yeah, looks like he's gonna do just that. Even popping the blood shield to protect against the Ogre Club and push in for the kill. Pretty nicely done there. Still no strong weapons in these shops. Gonna pick up the shield scroll, but yeah, not much worthwhile in there.
On BoredMai, meanwhile, finding only a glass spear. It's just bad weapons everywhere.
I mean, a glass spear, I think in this case is a
I say bad weapons, but
BoredMai playing from very far behind, I think needs to, yeah, switch to that glass spear and just roll with it. You know, swap back to that gold longsword if you break it. But you are playing from way far behind, about a zone and a half. So run that high damage weapon. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But well, and SillyPears is very close, but losing the flawless on Conga there. I think had the flawless up to that point. Not sure, but so yeah, more Blood Rapier action here. At this point, I think you swapped the Boots of Strength here. Lead Boots not really going to protect against anything relevant. Ooze is, you know, done and over with. The only floor hazard, other than, you know, spike traps, would protect against spike traps, but you're not going to be going into rooms with spike traps very much in Zone 5. There's water from the water balls, but Lead Boots doesn't do anything against those, so yeah, Boots of Strength, I think, definitely the right call. Gonna make this kind of crappy weapon into something pretty viable.
J3 Rapier, not amazingly exciting, but perfectly serviceable.
And yeah, plain old cookies. The only difference between you know, regular runs and CoNDOR races is that, you know, obviously you're doing it head to head against someone else, and also that we use the seeded mode. We generate a random seed for the racers to play, and they play the same, you know, the same seed, so get the same levels. Which is, you know, a little counter to how most people play Necrodancer normally. Most players are not running seeded mode; they're just doing the all zones mode, unseeded. Other than that, though, there's no specific rules, no item bans or mods or anything. I mean, you are allowed to run a mod that reskins your cadence, like we see on BoredMai's side with the Corgi skin, which, by the way, is absolutely adorable. But, yeah, other than that, no, it's just pretty much straight vanilla game.
did used to ban the Lucky Charm because it would cause major seed instability, where one person could pick up the Lucky Charm and have amazing items, and the other wouldn't, and then that just pretty much decides the race.
Yeah, the problem with the way Lucky Charm used to work is, it said better items, but that wasn't actually true. It was actually just different items. What it did is it shifted the item tier system that I was talking about around. Boosting the item tier for your current floor up by 1 in the case of Lucky Charm, or 2 in the case of Lucky Ring. Which, on average, meant that you would see better items with luck items than without. But in actual practice, we saw so many times where just a completely arbitrary time of taking the Lucky Charm from your Leprechaun made the difference in a race. Like, in both directions, where a racer would have Lucky Charm and, get Titanium Rapier out of the boss chest while his opponent got Blood Whip. Or, the exact same thing happening, but the person without luck got the good item, or the person with luck, it went both ways. It was a mess, and really kind of an unfun way to lose races. So, we had it banned from previous seasons, but with the DLC, the current developer, Blue Blimp, was also not a fan of this seed variance in a racing setting, so has been kind of aiming to cut it down on it, and in pursuit of that, did redesign the luck items from scratch. They now just affect crates. They do not affect the item tier. The items you find in chests and such are unaffected. So yeah, ban on luck's been lifted. Free to take as always.
Your instead should take quite a bit of damage in this Necrodancer fight.
Yeah, Dorian kind of getting stuck on the Necrodancer there in the corner, but GG, race 1 going to SillyPears with a pretty rough seed, very low source, low damage up sources available. Just so much 1 damage running, which is, it's rough. It's rough for any racer, let alone, racers who are relatively new to the to CoNDOR.
I think the first just solid titanium weapon I saw on that seed was the titanium rapier SillyPears found in a 5-2 shop.
There was a titanium spear in one of the Zone 2 shops, which was pretty far out of the way, and we never saw it get picked up. And yes, Earth Spell does kill Deadbringer if you crush him against a wall or another enemy or a bell. Jack of Games did crash his game going for an Earth kill once, though, so I'm a little bit worried about that, and I want to kind of try and test and see if I can figure out what's causing that crash, so I don't accidentally do it in a race. But yeah, Earth Spell does work as a quick kill against Deadbringer. You can damage him directly with any sort of phasing damage or damage above 10, or the Quake Scroll. All of those work. So both races kind of going the wrong way here, and also both wisely resetting to just get a quick, to skip all the time backtracking. Oh yeah, forgot to put the first point up for SillyPears. This is race 2.
SillyPears getting grabbed by the monkey and going down, and it costs a small bit of time. Some very quick floors though. The exit directly down from the starting room. And both black chests having a form of 1 damage cap.
Yeah, there we go. Both of them on the Blood Cat now. I've mentioned it before. If you want a 1 damage weapon, it's very often the move attack ones are the way to go. Cannon Nine Tails, Rapier, Axe, all very strong very strong weapons even at 1 damage. So, BoredMai making quick work of Fortissimo. Gonna look for a better weapon here. Finding a glass harp though, so kinda like to skip on that and stick with Bloodcat. Oh! SillyPears, though, getting stage dived. That little splash when Fortissimo first jumps off the stage, so easy to forget about. So, advantage to BoredMai for now. Pushing through this zone 2, still a pretty minimal build, just a Bloodcat and a few extra bombs to their name. Looks like SillyPears is going to get the lucky charm here. Interesting to see him passing up on that crate and barrel room. Crates and barrels can have some pretty valuable items. Might be worth spending the bomb on that. Ooh. Diving in front of the Minotaur, we can say that was intentional to get infinite damage.
Obviously, every blood tier racer knows all the blood tier strats.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's right in their tier name. They're experts with the blood weapons. Okay, this time avoiding the stage dive damage. And gonna clean this fight out. Getting a little bit of regen off the skeleton crowd as well, so, you know, not in too bad a shape with regards to health. But, yeah, I think not watching BoredMai, so not knowing that that chest is not something he wants to take. Gonna be running the Bloodcat as well. Oh, you can see that hesitation after opening that wall. Almost jumping into that clone. Just stopping and thinking about it for long enough to stay alive. Looks like another crate room there on BoredMai's side. Definitely has a bunch of spare bombs, so yeah, gonna spend some bombs here. Ring of Pain, pretty strong with that cat. Leaving the sunglasses behind in favor of the teleportation crown, though. Not sure if I agree with that. You know, 1 damage cat is usable, but not exactly ideal.
You do have the Ring of Pain, which is
it's sort of a damage up.
Ring of Pain also gets kind of messy with move attacking and knockbacking enemies.
Alright, so cleaning up this deep blue is getting the flawless. Probably gonna keep looking for a better weapon here. Obsidian Longsword. I think BoredMai will probably be happy with that. Gonna do a little shopping. Knowing that they're in the lead. Oh, there's a little bit of armor and some regen in the form of Crown of Thorns. And a torch. Yeah, I'm just gonna buy the whole lot. You know, Hargreaves not particularly influential on their own, but their power really starts to show once they've stacked with other small armor items, like that leather armor.
Especially now, as you said, I think it was in the last race that a lot of enemies in Zone 3 are dealing 1.5 hearts of damage.
Yeah,
one armor.
Yeah, exactly. Having that 1 armor is really strong for Zone 3. Going for a little bit of a slide here into the Direback Hill. Potential either Transmog or Glass Shop on the left there. Transmog would be really nice. Would let him upgrade that armor for a pretty low price.
SillyPears clearing out his deep blues too, and is going to check the black chest for that obsidian longsword as well.
Yeah, so SillyPears not too far behind here. Looks like popping that teleportation crown and going to that shop gonna do the same thing. Just sweep up the whole lot there. BoredMai kind of struggling with these hot coals though. Having to kind of awkwardly dance around this beetle. Gonna do a little more shopping here. Oh, there's some pretty nice looking items there, but gonna leave them behind. Looks like SillyPears taking a few hits there, but you know, again, that combined 1 point of defense between the leather armor and the Hargreaves, really helping out. You know,
there's an obsidian armor now.
Yeah, the obsidian armor, obviously an improvement over the leather armor, especially since, for those who were really intimately familiar with the game mechanics and bugs and quirks of the original game, the bug concerning obsidian armor, glass armor, and karate gi, with it ignoring one of your defensive up items, is now gone. Those armors work completely as intended, which means that while in the vanilla game, those Hargreaves would be literally ignored with the build that BoredMai has, they are instead here correctly being taken into account.
I suppose that was an interesting thing that we didn't cover. Is in, I think it was the free shop, there was a chainmail available. Before you just switched to the chainmail because it would always be the 1.5 for protection, but nowadays when that 0.5 of protection does apply to obsidian, I'm not sure which I'd pick.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think either, there is no wrong answer there. Looks like SillyPears gonna farm up for this Ring of Courage. Pretty close to being able to buy it, so I'm just gonna bomb out this corner here. And gonna get the Ring of Courage and try to use it to push forward and regain some ground against BoredMai here.
So I'm going to have to be careful on this, or the rest of Zone 3, about ice and coals, if you're not getting the kill.
Yeah, and the thing about Ring of Courage is that's another change from the original game. Ring of Courage no longer gives the +1 damage boost. It's just the kill dash ability. So, yeah, have to be if you're really, a well-seasoned veteran of the original game. Just assuming that gives +1 damage is something you really have to work out of your system. I still have a hard time taking Courage because I still very frequently just miscount my damage because I'm so used to that +1 damage off the ring. Yeah, it looks like gonna finish up this Zone 3 here, so it doesn't really have to worry about any more ice situations with Courage, which is, where Courage is most dangerous. Dropping the flawless on Conga here, though. As BoredMai gets down to 4-3, so SillyPears with a 2-floor deficit here has to kind of work to push up here. I'm not quite sure. I don't think you would take either one of those items, honestly. Like, maybe the Fireball spell, but I think you've already got a pretty strong weapon, and your opponent's so far ahead, you just want to push here. That said, gonna get the Battle Shuffle out of that. Could potentially get some quick kills on bosses from it, but considering he's already got a pretty strong weapon, I don't know that Pears is gonna see much use from it. Oh, and yeah, I don't recommend standing in front of a Shrine of Chance as you activate it. It will just throw an item on you, regardless of what it is. Could be giving yourself a glass. SillyPears getting himself stuck on Ooze. That Warlock teleport, unfortunately, gonna get him dunked. And now it's all on BoredMai to just finish this run out with a full 4-zone lead.
With a strong build ready to go.
Oh yeah, lots of tankiness, lots of defensive spells, heal and shield, both probably the most effective defensive spells. 3 bombs for the Necrodancer, so as long as they don't use any additional bombs, they're in good shape there. Ring of Pain, yeah, making short work of those skulls even when off of the conduit. It's a really nice setup here. Could have attacked the Earth Dragon through the Gargan there. Ooh. Okay, good use of the Battle Shovel there. Making up for the loss of Multiplier and having to do just a bit of panic there. Closing in on the end here, though, is BoredMai. Minotaur is down, just needs to reach the exit, and then it's going to be Deadringer.
Should be safe.
Yeah, we'll see what they go for here.
Going for lures.
Yeah, gonna be going for the lures.
The lures are a recommended safe strat for new racers, is it?
Oh, missing that last one though, getting blocked by the skeleton, but could just... Oh! Oh, Pain saving him another heart worth of damage there. Oh, jeez, that was really scary. I mean, if you miss the last lure, you can just attack the last bell, but you don't want to do it when Deadringer is already lined up to charge you immediately afterwards. That's a really dangerous thing to do.
Making sure to use the shield bug.
Yeah, that's a good idea. No need to back up away from the bomb explosion though when you're going to be shielding through it. A couple beats wasted might give the Necrodancer time to summon extra mini-bosses. Speaking of which, the only mini-boss so far being a Dire Bat, not exactly very threatening.
Dorian's just taking a few hits, but does clean up.
Yeah, oh, that last second double Ogre, but cleaning the fight out, and race 2 going to BoredMai.
I think my stream's a bit ahead of you, Spoody.
I can try refreshing the streams really quick. Just give me a second. Alright. Might need to reset SillyPears as well, but looks like they're ready to go, so they're too far out of sync. I'll refresh SillyPears as well. Let's see what happens. Okay, maybe taking a little break here. Oh, wait, no, there they go. Okay, they're synced fine. So, alright, anyway, race 3! The decider. This is 1-1, tied up. We'll see who wins the set overall. Although, at least with it being 1-1, we know both racers are not going to be leaving this set empty-handed. We'll be each getting a minimum 1 point, which is going to contribute, into helping them get into future promotional tournaments.
Base Raver find on 1-1, but they missed the bloodshot. It was hiding under a torch, so I imagine that's why they didn't see it.
Yeah, and Conjure here, it looks like SillyPears maybe going to go and farm up with the little bit of extra gold needed. Although, I've taken a hit from the blue slime here, so going to lose the multiplier, make it a little harder to farm up that gold. BoredMai just conjuring armor and getting leather armor. Yeah, I mean, I think this is... I'm not sure I agree with this play from SillyPears. You are farming up... You are spending a lot of time to farm up for this conjure. And if you're just going to go the armor route, it's not really worth much. It looks like he's going to do that and just get... Yeah, that's leather armor. Leather armor that you spent about a minute to reduce. And swapping off the base rapier to the gold dagger, which seems a little weird to me.
The screen option going down.
Oh no, I see. He sees it's Coral Rift. Yeah, okay. And wants to throw
that's
one.
quite the find from the boss chest, though. Obsidian Rapier is a very strong weapon.
So yeah, gonna swap to the dagger just for this quick kill here. Although the dagger costing him some damage in the boss arena. And honestly, I think the time spent backtracking for the gold dagger, considering that he had more than enough bombs to just walk up to Coral Rift and bomb him, I think it probably evens out as far as the boss fight is concerned, and probably ultimately ends up against his favor, considering the fact that running dagger cost him some health against the mini boss arena. Free potion though.
Both also switched out to quartz armor in the chest.
Definitely the right call, I would say. The only situation in which leather armor is more advantageous than quartz armor is against enemies that deal exactly 1 heart of damage. Because leather armor is going to reduce that to 0.5, but quartz is just going to leave it as the same. BoredMai doing a little bit of shopping. Looks like getting a Torch of Foresight out of that. Pretty handy torch. A little bit of lighting is nice, but also seeing the trapdoors can help speed you up, or just being able to recognize. For example, in Zone 5, you'll be able to tell when a room has no traps in it, and by by extension, that it's therefore probably the exit room.
Both races onto the boss floor at the same time. Rapier making quick work of the Banshee for SillyPears. Gonna farm up some multiplier, but that shouldn't be. Oh dear.
SillyPears just trying to go for a quick kill though, and that was not a quick kill setup. Walking up the center with their rapier does work, but only under certain conditions. You don't just want to blindly do it.
Both races onto Zone 3 at about the same time though, with similar builds.
And yeah, it looks like SillyPears not really gonna get punished super hard for this, because it looks like BoredMai missed their flawless as well. So, both races coming out even in that exchange. Both racers taking radically different routes to get to the exit, but nonetheless getting there at about the same time.
You can see the benefit of the Torch of Foresight. It's confident enough for it to take a Zone 3 trapdoor and obsidian weapon. It's right there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough setup, but I mean, with the quartz armor, it's not out of the question, even if you're not too comfortable with the setups for Zone 3 trapdoors. Oh, gonna find some cheese, top off that health, and sticking with the obsidian rapier over the titanium axe. Ooh, you don't want to take that one. SillyPears finding a glass jaw.
BoredMai picking up a pair of lead boots. It's gonna stop sliding on ice, which is big of a concern. It's definitely gonna benefit from.
Yeah, SillyPears.
Later on.
SillyPears taking the lead here, but yeah, BoredMai doing a little bit of extra shopping. So I'm gonna get some extra goodies out of this. Oh no, taking the glass jaw.
Whoa.
Although there's one item. Yes, there's one item that does make the glass jaw substantially safer, and that is the potion. Because the glass jaw, like any other glass item, does break on hit. So what's going to happen if BoredMai takes a hit, glass jaw is going to break, potion is going to restore them to full health. And, that's that.
You don't, however, want that potion. Curse potion is going to curse all the hearts it's used, and that stops the normal potion from working.
Yeah, exactly. Many races have learned that one the hard way. Finding a map from that Shrine of Space, though, gonna make this, figuring out this last floor pretty easy. But SillyPears kind of pushing ahead here. BoredMai might have the better build, but for the moment, SillyPears definitely has the advantage.
SillyPears finding a pair of boots of strength is going to make normal. It's going to make the dropping the modifier a bit safer. It's not going to have to be aware of the massive loss in lunge damage if they're dropping a multiplier.
Oh yeah, fast job putting in work in that death metal fight. Just gonna let BoredMai one-shot death metal and move straight on. Shield spell also gonna work pretty nicely with that glass jaw build.
One thing to be aware of, might not take effect if there's bombs elsewhere to be found, but BoredMai only has 2 bombs right now. Should really be considering maybe hopefully running to that blast helmet that's on.
Yeah, that blast helm was a pretty easy find right off the starting room in 4-2. So, you know, hopefully for BoredMai they notice it. Finding that extra bomb in that barrel mimic right there. Okay, and see, this is something that I find a lot of new racers struggle with. It's knowing when to use their spells. For BoredMai right there, I don't think you'd find a much better opportunity to use your spell than right there, right after opening the mini-boss room. Oh, and it looks like BoredMai actually gonna miss that blast helm. Maybe not looking at their mini. Oh, but SillyPears. I'm not quite sure what happened.
It was a blood magic death, so I would have guessed it was a blood magic
I guess probably just took a hit to the mommy, panicked, and cast Blood Shield.
BoredMai shielding a beat too late,
we've already seen the panic Blood Shield death earlier today in the Arcane versus Paper Duplis match. When he as well also had a pretty decisive advantage when that happened. It's gotta know how to use your spells.
BoredMai picking up a shovel of strength, which is not
looks
great
like
for zone 4.
Looks like while I wasn't looking, BoredMai did break their glass jaw and quaff their potion as a result. But yeah, still very strong build here. That extra damage from the Shovel of Strength really gonna help, you know, keep enemies under control. This Confusion Trap kind of giving BoredMai some problems though. Ooh, jeez, taking a lot of hits there. Using up the last of her cookie stash. And missing Flawless against Fortissimo, just trying to lunge into a Blade Master. Unfortunately, that doesn't quite work. At least gonna clean the fight up pretty quickly without much further issue, but considering the position with respect to BoredMai's opponent, they really want to be, you know, keeping their health high, trying to find some food or something here.
Checking shops, maybe even.
You're gonna be checking this shop. Not finding any food, finding a Blood Broadsword, which could work. Ring of Mana, Mana Shield. You know, mana again not as good as it used to be. The cooldown reduction is completely gone. All of that it means is that shield is going to be a greater shield spell, which is giving, you know, an extra double duration shield. And yeah, see, that's, you know, again, spell usage a little bit weird. You know, electing to save the shield spell until there's only about 2 enemies left in the room. Could have been working towards that recharge for the next shield spell just by popping it early. It is greater shield, which means it's going to last 20 beats. It's more than enough time to clear out a room. Oh, BoredMai down to half a heart, needs to play this carefully.
There's a shop over to that left.
Just gonna skip the shop, just gonna push here. I think here you might want to, like, even though you're giving up your your bombs for a quick Necrodancer. Your opponent's dead. You don't have to worry about the button puzzles, you know, being what allows your opponent to catch up here. Might be worthwhile to just try bombing into the shop without having to worry about these enemies here.
You also don't have to worry about spawn minimization, as it's just not a thing anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna kill all the enemies though. Finding a shield scroll. Could take the transmute and transmute these 2 items looking for food. No, no luck.
You could scrape that torture across the edge of the rooms just to see if there's like a close barrel that you might be willing to fight for.
And this, again, here, I think this is a situation where you want to consider just popping that shield spell. Very, you know, very cautiously backing way off from these fights. Just wants to make sure there's absolutely no chance of making any. The electric ball, just spooking BoredMai and walking into a skeleton. And again, BoredMai going out of their way to get mana shield, but just never really putting it to use.
Finds the bloodshot and it's only really just like some cookies.
And this, you know, this is I cannot stress this enough for newer racers. Use your spells. Oh, and SillyPears also going down, so we've got a full reset on our hands. Both racers in Zone 1. And now it's a completely new race.
A big thing of what this race is going to come down to now is how much of the seed do our racers remember.
Yeah, it's, you know, I see it time and time again, though. As I started to say, use your spells, use your resources. Don't forget your usable items. Don't forget your usable spells. If that spell is off of its cooldown, and there are more than, like, you know, 3 enemies for you to deal with, just throw it up. Just pop it right in and push it and push in. But don't get killed waiting for that perfect opportunity to use a spell. Because it's all too often that we see racers going down to that. So SillyPears, first one back to Coral Rift. Nice quick throw bomb here. BoredMai maybe gonna go a different route here. Gonna go for boots, getting Explorer's boots. Be nice to pick up there. Oh, but going for a kind of odd double bomb strat against the Red Dragon and just getting nicked by the Black Skeleton on the way out. You know, I'm fairly sure these racers are fairly familiar with fighting mini-boss arenas, and this is not the time to be trying to invent new strategies. Okay, so SillyPears looking pretty good right now. Got that Obsidian Rapier again, and the Quartz Armor, and the Potion. So, you know, Seeded Memory for SillyPears working out. Picking up all those good items again. Finding a Ring of Frost, pretty strong, especially against a lot of bosses. Checking for a food shop here. Not really getting a great one. Just gonna buy them and fill up the health. Not even going to bother killing the shopkeeper, which is fair. The bomb count's a little on the low side.
I believe SillyPears noticed where a bomb spell is in the seed.
Yeah, let's see if they remember that.
I'm likely not thinking that far ahead in terms of their build.
Okay, BoredMai finishing up Coral Rift, gonna get that Obsidian Rapier back as well. Okay. SillyPears, I think, momentarily considering just doing the push up the center, but then maybe remembering that it didn't work last time. And those deep blues openers are seeded. They're going to be 100% consistent every time you run the same seed. So if it didn't work one time, it's not going to work again. That said, it's still unfortunately taking a dunk to a pawn. So no flawless. Gonna keep running with the build he's already got, which, to be completely fair, is pretty acceptable. Obsidian Rapier, one of the strongest weapons in the game. Quartz Armor, gonna offer a little bit of hit protection. And Ring of Frost, also probably one of the best rings in the game. A little bit less good when you've already got a high damage weapon like an Obsidian Rapier, but still has its uses.
Notably, you're going to be much more free to drop beats. You're not going to be lacking immediate. You can still clear things relatively effectively.
Yeah, exactly. 1 damage doesn't mean that, that 6 HP mini boss is going to take 6 beats. It's still only going to take 2.
BoredMai coming on to Deep Blues too.
Oh, almost getting the flawless, but I think, maybe kind of getting it stuck in their head that they want to kill all the pieces. Kind of clearing everything out around the king, but then lunging into a pawn attack.
SillyPears now with a monocle is going to be able to find.
Oh, this is really scary for SillyPears, though.
Survived, but it's not looking amazing.
Yeah, gonna be left at 1 heart after, or 3 hearts after eating all those cookies. Losing them the potion, and almost all the, the health regeneration to that swarm. Oof.
One thing that SillyPears could have done was there's a curse potion on the floor. Could have just taken the curse potion, then used the cookies to uncurse the hearts.
Yeah, that's something to note. Cursed hearts, any amount of health restoration will uncurse them, even just half a heart. So you take that curse potion, you pop it, gives you 4 cursed hearts, and then just 4 cookies later, you've got 4 healthy, normal-looking hearts again. SillyPears maybe forgetting about Frost there for a second, freezing the Minotaur, but not dealing the killing blow. Gonna have to wait a little bit for the Minotaur to come back up.
BoredMai also getting surrounded and taking some hits. Able to get out of the situation immediately, but still got enemies.
Yeah, this is really scary. Okay, but it backs up into a relatively safe corner here. I'm not sure that Minotaur bomb was intentional, but it works out. And gonna get this cheese here. Oh, ate the cookie. I'm not sure if they didn't. Okay, there we go. Eating the cheese as well. Yeah, that is a really nasty 3-3. So, well done to both racers handling that to the best of their abilities. Even if it did result in a lot of damage. Oh, BoredMai seeing some extra cursed hearts and the plate armor there. Can't buy the plate armor though, unfortunately. Could double bomb spell the shopkeeper. Actually, you can just even just single. Yeah, with the max multiplier of Obsidian Rapier, there is a setup you could do to kill the shopkeeper with only 1 bomb. Don't think BoredMai sees it though. So it has the damage to kill.
Wrong, you at least also have some time to try and kill down the shopkeeper, with Quartz giving you some protection against shopkeeper hits.
Alright, so both racers on zone 4. 4-2 for SillyPears, 4-1 for BoredMai. Both, in decent conditions, but not fantastic, considering. 3-3 cost them both their respective potions. BoredMai's health looking pretty good though overall, although that said, taking a hit from Black Bat, so losing another heart there. Down to 3.5 counting cursed hearts, while SillyPears sitting at 2. Good use of the shield spell as BoredMai pushes down to 4-2. Sees that Blast Helm with the monocle, but I think it's... I
those bombs.
am very confused by, because that Blast Helm is very clearly in view, and they're deliberately avoiding it.
Maybe they don't
and
know
they
it's
desperately
bombs?
need bombs. Like, bombs are very, important for a fast Necrodancer. I mean, if they retain a high enough amount of health, they can Blood Bomb. But I don't know that you can count on that.
Alright. Outside of finding some bombs later on, is really looking like they're going to need to find like a Gigantism scroll to just dig the Necrodancer out with that obsidian shovel.
Yeah, you can't count on finding Gigantism. It's a very rare pickup. Swapping off to Spiked Ears here for a little extra pushing power. Not sure how I feel about that. You need bombs. Like, bombs are super important with the build you have right now. And food would not be a bad find either, and Monocle gonna help you find all that. Gonna want to be careful about going to that shop. Okay, yeah, I can kill the Goblin Bomber there. That'll work out. There we go. Using the cookies to uncurse the hearts. Very smart.
And there goes the ears.
Yeah, just locking up the moment a Pixie shows up and just letting the ears break. So yeah, not getting a lot of mileage out of that, and now doesn't have the monocle for item vision.
I wonder what's in that 5-1 shrine. There's a Shrine of War. BoredMai could get a Gigantism scroll from activating that. It'd make the rest of the game more dangerous, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's really worth... Okay, this is, again, this is another great time to use that shield spell. A shield might cost a heart when cast with blood magic, but if you're on quartz armor and you're going to be taking 4 more hits trying to just get out of the corner, it's not worth. Oh, and getting confused, so gonna be losing the Flawless here. Cleaning out the fight without any damage at least, but yeah, no items here. SillyPears finding that mana shield, putting it to good use.
There's also found a ham somewhere along the line, so it's looking good in the health department. Could easily just blood shield the rest of the boss rooms away.
And BoredMai going out of their way for the mana ring as well. Ooh, nicely backing away from that Evil Eye right there. Gonna have to be forced into the Shriner here as they're running away from the Minotaur. Oh, yeah, SillyPears with a pretty decisive advantage here. Both a lot more health, more bombs, and, yeah, just 2 floors ahead. He's going to take the time to do a little bit of shopping here, though. I think contemplating that shield scroll, or the transmute. I know, we've already seen that. Doesn't get you anything good.
Another time, though, it's just remembering your team. You could save quite a bit of time there, just not checking that shop.
Except I believe it's BoredMai this time that made it, or that made it around that far the first time, right?
Am I getting my races confused?
Could be me that is confused.
One of us is confused.
Okay, so SillyPears on to Dead Ringer. Gonna be doing some nice safe lures here. Yeah, nice cleanup there. And gonna be getting a boss chest here. Not quite sure what you want here. Finding some shurikens, not really gonna help you. But 6 bombs and Blast Helm and a mana shield. pretty easily just like blood shield at the start of this fight. And then pop your ham. Looks like maybe gonna... Yeah, okay, there we go.
Eat the ham, please.
Yeah, I'd really like to see him eat the ham so we don't see another blood shield death. Okay, there we go. Eating the ham. Having a little bit of trouble catching the Necrodancer here. Getting frozen a lot. That shield's not going to last forever. And in fact, there it goes. SillyPears looking like they know what luring is, but they're not quite sure how to do it. Interesting blood shield there. I'm not sure I really agree with that. Oh, Dorian taking a bomb. Dorian's health looking really bad. Cadence doesn't care about that Necrobomb because she's got the blast helmet, but there's another blood shield. Okay, and that's gonna do it. After a bit of a bloodbath race, SillyPears takes the set 2-1, with BoredMai not far behind.